Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are safe in this pandemic. Today, from this session, we are going to start with the first chapter of chemistry in grade 9. The name of the chapter is Matter in Our Surroundings. Actually, this chapter, Matter in Our Surroundings, is one of my favorite chapters in chemistry. And the reason behind this favoritism is that this chapter deals with the basic concepts of chemistry. Whenever we start reading any subject, like English, Hindi, math, science, any subject I'm talking about, if the concept, if the basic things will not be clear to you, you will not be able to take interest in that subject. So it is very important that should be first approach of us to understand the basics of any subject. And this chapter, Matter in Our Surrounding, is a very interesting chapter in itself. I will tell you the activities, I will tell you the concepts. Gradually, you will be able to relate those activities and concepts with your everyday life. So, let us start the first topic, that is matter, from this chapter, Matter in Our Surrounding. What is matter? If you look around, you will find many things. You will find many objects around you, like table, chair, book, water, milk, bricks, star, planets, etc. etc. These things differ widely in their properties, like they can differ in shape, they can differ in size, they can differ in color and smell, but there is one thing which is common among all of them. And that common thing is that they are all composed of matter. But here the question is that what is matter? Yes, I'm telling you the classic definition of matter, that matter is anything which occupies space and has mass. Mass means the amount of matter present in any object, and occupies space means that it is having volume in it. So anything which will be having volume in it, or which is occupying space, or that is having mass in it, is called as matter. Everything in the universe is made up of matter. From the dust particle to the biggest planet Jupiter, each and everything which you see is all composed of matter. Even you, your body, my body, we are also composed of matter, because we have mass and we are occupying space. Now, one question is coming in mind, that is love, hatred, affection, friendship, are they all a kind of matter? The answer is no. They will not be considered to be as matter, because they don't have mass. They don't have weight in that. Similarly, the time, the sensation, the types of energy like heat energy, light energy, electrical energy, sound energy, they are also not be considered as matter, because they do not have mass. They do not have weight. Now, we will talk about the classification of matter. Okay, that is the physical nature of matter. We are all surrounded by matter in the form of various things and objects. But how does matter exist in such a large variety of object? What is the constitute of matter? Of what it is made up of? There are so many answers of this question, that from what matter is made up of. Greek Indian philosophers, the very first, they have given the idea that the matter is made up of four basic substances, that is earth, water, air and fire. Then Democritus proposed that all the matters could be divided into very small and still small pieces, and he called that small pieces as atom. Our ancient Indian philosophers, they all suggested that matter is made up of Panchatattva, and that Panchatattvas are air, earth, fire, sky and water. After that, great Indian philosopher Maharshi Kannad, he suggested that all the forms of matter are composed of very small particles, and he has given the name Parmanu to those small particles. So this is the particulate nature of matter. before telling you about the particulate nature of matter, I'm telling you about the physical classification of matter. On the basis of physical state, the matter can be classified into solid, liquid and gas. Apart from this, two more states of matter are there, that is plasma and Bose-Einstein, about which I will tell you in this chapter. On the basis of chemical state, the matter can be classified as pure substances and mixture. Again, the pure substances can be classified as elements or compounds, and mixture can be classified as homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. In this chapter, we are only going to discuss about the classification of matter, which is based on the physical state. The classification which is based on the chemical composition, about that we will read in chapter number 2. So let us read about the particulate nature of matter, that is you can also say call it as characteristic of matter, or you can also call it as physical nature of matter. One by one, in very detail, we will do the activities. I will explain you the activities, that how you can prove, how you can show these physical nature of matter. The first physical nature is that matter is made up of particles. Second one is that matter's particles are very, very tiny. Third is that the particles of the matter are having space between them. Fourth is the particles of matter are continuously moving. And the fifth one is that the particles of matter attract each other. Now we will perform one activity to show that matter consists of tiny particles. That means matter is made up of particles. Okay, this is the first physical nature of matter. For performing this activity, we need one beaker, some water in it. We have to mark the level of water which we are taking in the beaker, and then we have to add some sugar crystals in the water. What you will observe, that the sugar crystals, they will apparently disappear and the taste of the water will become sweet. One more thing which you will observe, that the level of the solution in the beaker remains the same as before. So what conclusion we are drawing from this activity, that the level of the water is not increasing. That means, where the sugar gone? Actually, the large crystals of sugar, that is made up of matter, that breaks off into small particles and they get into the space between the particles of another matter, which is water. And this is the reason why there is no increase in the water level which we have kept in the beaker. And this proves that both the sugar and the water are made up of small particles. Now, this is the second property, second particulate nature of matter, that the particles of the matter are very tiny. For performing this activity, we have to take 2-3 crystals of potassium permanganate in 100 ml of water. Okay, I'm showing you the diagram, that in 100 ml of water we have to mix up some amount of potassium permanganate. What you are seeing here, that the color is dark purple of the first beaker. Okay, so next what you have to do is you have to take 10 ml of solution from first beaker and mix it in the next beaker in which we have already kept 100 ml of water. And similarly, this activity we have to repeat and again, that we have to take 10 ml from the first beaker and mix it with the 100 ml of another beaker. What you will observe, that even on the continued dilution, the potassium permanganate retains color. Though the intensity of the purple color will decrease with dilution. You can see here the bottle which is at the rightmost side is having very light pink color, whereas the beaker which is at the left hand side is very dark purple in color. So from this activity, we can conclude that as the solution remains colored even at very high dilution, and it can be concluded that each potassium permanganate crystal is made up of very large number of small particles which spread out and impart color to the solution. And hence we have shown that these particles must be very small in size. Now we will talk about the third particulate nature of matter, third characteristic of matter, that is the particles of the matter are having space between them. The space which is present between the particle of the matter is known as intramolecular space. Intraparticular space. Okay, so how we will prove this, that the particles are having space between them? For this, we have again to take some water in a beaker and note its level. We have to dissolve some sugar or salt and stir it with the help of a glass rod. What will happen? The salt dissolved in the water, but the level of the water does not change. This is all because of the particles of salt get into the space between the particles of water. Hence, we can say that the particle of the matter have space between them. And this is the reason why the crystals of sugar or why the crystals of salt is getting adjusted between the crystals of, between the particles of water. The next property is that particles of matter are continuously moving. How we will prove that the particles of matter are continuously moving? We have again to take some water in a beaker and put a drop of any colored ink in it. Okay, do not stir the solution. Leave it undisturbed for 15 to 20 minutes or for 1 hour. What will you observe? That the ink will spread. The ink will spread evenly throughout the water due to the movement of particle of water and ink. Okay, this activity shows us that the intermixing of water and ink is happening on its own. We have not stirred the solution, we have not even touched the solution, but then also after few hours or after some time, we have seen that the water and ink is very evenly mixed up. And this intermixing of two or more different type of matter on their own is called the process of diffusion. I'm again repeating, the intermixing of particle of two different types of matter on their own is called diffusion. The next and the last property of matter is that the particles of the matter attract each other. How? The question is how we will prove that the particle of the matter attract each other. For this, the activity which we have to perform, in that we will be needing one nail, iron, which is made up of iron, one piece of chalk and a rubber band. Now what you have to do, you have to try breaking all these three materials by the use of hammer, or you can cut it or you can stretch it. The observation which you will get, that it is very easy to break the chalk into pieces. Okay, it is difficult to break the rubber band, but you can do it by stretching. But it is very difficult to break the iron rod into pieces. So, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is very clear, that it shows that there is some force of attraction, there is some cohesive force present between the particles of chalk, which is very weak. Okay, and the cohesive force, the intramolecular force of attraction, which is present between the iron nails, that is very strong. And hence we can say that it will take more effort in breaking an iron nail than to break a piece of chalk. So I hope this is very clear to you all till here. After that, in our next video, we will discuss in very detail about the states of matter. Till then, thank you and bye bye everyone.